Hello everyone, welcome back to the racing lawnmower build. In this episode we are going to fit a brake disc or a brake drum on the back and possibly do the throttle, so we actually have some good acceleration that isn't on a little lever. Roll intro.
How the hell did you manage that?
In all honesty, I have no idea. Hello everyone, so as mentioned in the previous bit, we're back on with the racing lawnmower. So from the past video, we got it running, we fitted the new battery, the shut off switch, and the fuel cut off valve. In this episode, we're gonna get this up, jacked up, we're gonna take off the back wheel, possibly look about fitting a brake drum that I need to sort out, and possibly even doing the throttle. So we'll get started, we'll get this jacked up, and we'll look about what we can do next. So what I need to do is get this rear wheel off, measure up the axle, and see what kind of disc I need to order. Oh god, it's a pain. God damn it. Haha. Right. Okay, so there we have it. It's measured up. .73 inches. I think that's too big. Oh, that's okay. So it's the next day. We're back on with this. I have moved it just because it gives me a bit more space at the back in case I need to do any other projects. And I can kind of work on the side that I need to work on here. What I plan on doing is just taking this bolt thing off at the back, taking the bonnet off and putting that to one side, and then we can work on what's coming in the next few days. And a right sweat on. Jeez, that's heavy. Ew. Okay, so we are well underway. So I'm currently draining the fuel. We have it set up with it, with the shut off valve that is working and in place. And then we're draining the oil from the engine because this thing is in dire need of an oil change. That stuff is grim. So we'll drain all that out, get that taken care of. Once the fuel's out, then we can sort of start to put bits together. One of the big reasons I'm doing the fuel out is because there is going to be some grinding and some welding. Obviously for safety reasons, I don't want to be sat with fuel in a tank. I also need to move that so I can access the bolts underneath and flip a few things round. So we're well on the way. I can't believe how dirty that oil is. It probably explains why it was a bit coffee in the last video. But hopefully the full drainage of every fluid, and then we can put in proper clean fluid after, and yeah, get the job done right. So happy with that. Let me let it drain, and we'll get to it after that. Hello all, we're back and we have all the parts. So obviously we drained the oil. We've actually got some proper Briggs and Stratton premium long life synthetic oil. We've obviously got all the other pulley systems, this is to possibly extend the handbrake if need be. We also have a throttle cable and throttle cable assembly and some pedals, so we can actually get an accelerator pedal on there. And we also have this, which arrived this morning, which is the brake drum kit. So all the parts have arrived. We are almost ready to go. I do have something I'm just going to crack on with tomorrow, and then we're all on board, all working, all ready to go with the tractor. We can get the brake fitted, get the throttle sorted, and hopefully, if there is time, get those pulleys swapped. But we will see. So I'm currently in my snuddy because today I wasn't planning on actually filming anything for the tractor. However, as I'm cleaning up around the workshop, I picked up the oil and it stinks of fuel. So I've had a look into it, and it could be one of two things. The piston rings could be worn, which I really hope it's not that, because that's a whole engine stripped down to put the pistons back where they need to go. And I'm not equipped for that. The other one could be the float needle in the carb is playing up and it's allowing too much fuel in when it's not running. So hopefully, with me putting the shut-off switch, the shut-off valve for the fuel, I'm hoping that will negate it, and hopefully I won't end up with having to strip the full engine down. But we will see when I get back to it. I have got all the parts, like I said in the last video, last clip, but I'm that bogged under at the moment. I will be getting on this as soon as possible. So bear with me and I'll be back. Okay, so we've taken off the fuel tank, and what we're going to do now is loosen these bolts and look to remove the throttle cable a bit. I won't lie, I have been putting this off because I don't know what I'm doing and I've been a bit cautious, but screw it, let's go. Okay, well, that's off. Let's see what we can do with this. This may be long enough, but I'm not quite sure. I may have to use the actual other throttle cable and work out where we're going to put the pedal. But yeah, it's a bit of an awkward one. The next bit is just coming around here and removing all this assembly off of here, because that is where the throttle goes. So crack on with that. Okay, so I've taken off the throttle assembly, and I'm guessing this is the throttle lever, and then we have the spring that was attached to bring it back. So we have that off now. I think the next step is working out how this pedal's gonna fit. We'll see. Okay, so while I've got this like this, I've taken out the mower speed lever, so that's now out. Just currently in the process of wiggling the parking brake loose. Reason for it, doesn't actually do anything. Some modifications are going to probably have to go on underneath, but that's where we're at so far. Okay, so we've got the original throttle. So it was obviously on a lever, worked with this sort of keeps it all still and steady. We now have the new throttle cable. I have taken off the air intake, air filter, not intake, air filter, and I'll show you what we have. So here is the carb. This is the choke, so that's on a random piece there, and then we have the throttle. So I need to work out how to make this work off of a pedal, and I tell you now, it's becoming a little bit more difficult than I originally thought. I believe I have to hoop the new cable, the new throttle cable in there, put some kind of spring so it brings it back, and then rewrite that round so that I can have my pedal here. But I'll keep doing my research and then we'll hopefully make a start on that. Okay, so we're on with the brake disc. So what I need to do is in here, I need to fit a piece of metal that I can then attach to a little cable that will be leading to this, that basically means that my brake will work. So I'm just going to measure this up and see what we've got, and let's see how it goes. Okay, so with a bit of a quick measurement, I need 8 inches of steel. So this stuff is from the welding bench build. I still had quite a bit left over. I only need an L shape. So what I'm gonna do is measure 8 inches, and then I'm gonna look to cut out this section. And it should give me 2 pieces, but we'll see. But the measurement I need is 8 inches. Right, that's my 8 inches mark. The next bit is going to be a bit tougher, so I need to cut down this edge. Right, so all being well, that should leave me with this L shape and this L shape. So that's good there. I also have to do a cut on this for the throttle cable, and I may chop some more off depending if I need to make a pedal stop, which I believe I do. Again, the tractor build is turning into a bit more of a chore than I originally thought. It's going to be a bit longer video as well, so I do apologise for that. Anyway, that's marked out, that's done, that's good to go. Okay, so I probably need a bigger battery for this because it eats through battery quite quickly. Okay, so quick change of the battery and we can continue. We have a bracket. And there we have it. We're good to go. We're ready for the next part of the tractor build. Okay, so we are back. I have been putting this off just because I know how much the undertaking is. I know if stuff goes wrong, it can ruin the entire thing. So I have been putting off putting the effort in. However, I'm just going to go for it today. I have a full day where I have nothing planned but this. So let's get started. Okay, so I have made a few decisions. So we have refitted the lever, but instead of it being for the throttle, I'm actually going to use it to operate the choke. So this cable comes down here. As you can see, it is a bit short. However, I have this. So this was on the original choke, it was set in place, but this gives me an adjustable choke. I don't know why I'm going to need an adjustable choke, but I'd rather have one than not have one. So yeah, I'm going to get that fabricated. I need to kind of bend this into the right shape, and then we should be good to go. There we go. Looking all right. I think that should do the trick. Just need to cut this. So after a bit of faffing, drilling, and trying to organise, we now have this all connected up. So my problem was I built it right, it just wasn't holding this cable. So every time I use the lever, it kind of just backfired. But obviously now we have a fully operational choke on a lever. Happy with that. Sweaty, but happy. Okay, so there's no going back now. We're gonna remove the original throttle bit. we now have no official throttle, but we have a place we can wire the new throttle to. I could probably do with taking that out somehow. Managed to squeeze the throttle cable through the hole, wiring it up into the engine bay, but it's a little bit tight. This is fun. Okay, so we have to attach this bit to here, but obviously this is a painted surface, so I'm going to try and get a little bit of paint off with the grinder, and then we can start welding. Let's give this a go. Where's my gloves? That's what we're gonna need. Where'd I put my gloves? It's behind me. Shorts are not the one, but it's what we're wearing today, and I cannot be bothered to get changed. Ladies and gentlemen, don't weld in shorts. Whoever invented these flame retardant welding gloves needs to make some better ones that are less. Right, that's gonna have to do. I'm just hoping this works. Right, so as you can see, we've now got it welded. We've got the throttle cable back in. What I've done is I've used this clip, which has the clutch cable underneath, the choke cable underneath, throttle cable on top. And I'm hoping that this, I can obviously pull that out a little bit further so it'll work. But the plan is to wire this up so that when I press the pedal, this goes like that. And we have power. So the problem that I'm having is, if I put the pedal too far forward, I run out of cable. And obviously I can't crimp, I can't adjust it or anything like that because I don't have the bits I need to re-crimp and re-put back on. So, as a result, we've called in the big guns, and Tony's coming to give us a hand. Tony doesn't like being filmed, so we'll see how that goes. But the plan is to fasten that in, 8mm hole, miss all the bits inside, and hopefully by that point I should be able to attach it all together and we should have a working throttle. Maybe. Right, so we have a throttle pedal that kind of partially works. We're not sure why, but it's not springing back right. I'm guessing it's because the throttle cable I've got is stupidly long and it's not doing the job that it should. So this part is now on hold. We have the pedal fitted. It's fitted fine. I probably need to add another spring, but the pedal is fitted. It does work. It's just holding the throttle on. So I need to do a bit of tweaking with that. But as I say, we have a pedal fitted and it is attached. So far, 2 of the 3 jobs have been done. One of them was the choke. That works perfect. I'm happy with that. The throttle part needs some more work. The next part is the rear brake disc. I'm going to call it a day for today because I've cut my finger and cut my knuckle. So yeah, we're going to call it a day for today. I'm going to go have something to eat and just chill out for the rest of the evening. I did plan on getting this working today. Plans don't always go to plan. But I do need to get a crimping set so that I can adjust it so that it'll work properly, hopefully. I don't know. I'm not a mechanic. I'm just an idiot with tools. So I'll see you when I see you. Okay, so it's the following day. I didn't quite get the throttle system working. However, get the bonnet on, get that out of the way, and then we're going to get to work on the rear axle drum brake. I've got all the bits that I need here. We'll try and make it work. Right, so we have it all here. So this is the brake drum. This is the bit that slides on to the axle. Problem that we have is it's a little bit big. Only like a fraction of a millimeter bigger. So what I'm gonna do is use my angle grinder and take down just a little bit of this. Yes, I know it's not a grinding disc, but it's gonna do. I'm hoping that's taken enough off that it should. Yeah, it's not taking. Yeah, it's not taking enough off. Come on, man. Look at there. This top side. Come on, man. Why's that not working? Let me keep trying this and we'll see what we get. So we got it chopped out. I've chopped off some of the bits so it'd fit. Now I'm just bolting it together so that we've got actual working brake drum. There we have it. Like I said, the back's a bit chopped up, but fully working brake disc. Right, so we have now the spacer, the brake drum, and the wheel. I'm gonna try and assemble it to some kind of understanding of where everything will be. I may have to remove the spacer, I may keep the spacer in, but at least once I've got it on, I can see where I'm going and what I need to do. So we'll get that fitted now. That is perfect. Right, what I need to do is take this off, tighten this on here so that doesn't rotate, and we can start putting the brake assembly together. Okay, so we've popped in fastener screws, and as you can see, when we turn this, this turns as well. So the brake is fitted. What I need to do now is work out how to fasten the actual clamp caliper, and then we're going to try and operate it through a lever which will be attached to the chopping deck loader. We can then have a brake. Okay, so what I've done here is we've attached the main brake caliper bit to this. So I need to tighten these up for a start. This is going to have two welded pieces going together to come to here. It's then going to run underneath and attach to the cutting deck. So this piece here needs to kind of work so that when I go and pull said handbrake, that lifts up, that pulls this that way, which then tightens that, which means the wheel won't spin, hopefully. Okay, so if you look under there, we've secured it with a split pin. This is then going to come back here. This is a bit long, so I'm going to cut it to about here, add some bits onto here, so that when I pull said handbrake, this should in theory pull back, which will then tighten the brake. Okay, so I've just hit my first problem. This is not going to work, because if I weld onto there to create the brake, the wheel comes to here. So the wheel's missing it at the moment, but I'm gonna have to try and probably weld something here, which will, no. Right, back to the drawing board. The pulley system that I put in doesn't pull hard enough, basically. I need to create some lever mechanisms that will work off of what I've got to pull the brake tight. And that probably means me modifying it a little bit. So I have got this bit cut, which I don't have any flat bar, so we're going to give that a go. And it's going to be a system of, that's going to attach to the lawnmower cutting bit, which will pull that down. But when that pulls down, that should, in theory, if I put a bolt in the right place, pull it back. And if it pulls it back, I can attach it to the lower brake, which then means that that then pulls, which hopefully means that it'll stop. I'm going to make a mess of this, but we carry on. After falling out with it and throwing Teddy out of the car, I've come back to it. I have been watching a guy called InGen Tech National, I think his name is. I'll link him in the description below. He's also done a fair few of these tractors, has a lot more knowledge, a lot more skill. So he came up with this design, and basically this fits onto the original mower deck bit, and it operates as a kind of slide with a pinhole bit to activate another bracket that we need to kind of make or try and fit on so that it works. But yeah, this is his design. I've copied it, so I can't take credit for that. But yeah, we're well underway. Right, so we have the mechanism all fit and working. The problem we have now is that's open, so obviously there's no pressure on this bit. Once I close it, as you can see, it's closer. So it is pushing. What I need to do is find a way to get that up there so that when it is on, it's on, and when it's off, it's loose. So I think it's not going to be too difficult. I think what I'm probably going to have to do is weld something onto here and try and make a bracket for that to work, but we'll see. So I didn't film the welding bit. Simple fact, you guys have seen me weld millions and millions of times. This thing looks a mess. I'll just flip you around and let you have a look at it. So that's done. Is it gonna work is the question, and it's probably gonna break on the first try, but might as well video it whilst we give it a go. So we pull the handbrake in. That movement is not what I was after. So that's apparently full lock. Oh, actually, it does brake slightly. I might have to adjust it a little bit, but I'm actually quite impressed with that. So as mentioned, the gentleman that I've leaving in the description does this and it works perfectly. Me, on the other hand, there is a lot of issues, from the throttle not being completely working, the brake not being completely right. Everything that I planned to do this video, I've done, but badly. So the next bit will be putting it all back together and giving you a little idea of what I've done. That's how you don't do the jobs that you're meant to do. So we've got the choke on a lever, which is probably the only part that actually worked. We have the throttle cable all lined up, but that needs adjusting because the throttle's sticking on. And we have the brake disc or brake drum that only works sometimes, which doesn't mean it's very safe. So If you want to see someone that does it all right, the guy in the description, he is the one that has done all of this properly, and will show you how to do it properly if that's what you're interested in. If you want to see someone do it like an idiot, hurt himself, and all that sort of stuff, watch this guy. But that's it for now. So thank you for watching. Thank you for liking and subscribing. Really appreciate it. Give me any comments, any feedback. I'm happy to take it on board. See you on the next video. Yeah. Oh dear. So yeah.